Pass 2.
Outside, it's sunny from the Hollydale Ice Arena, but indoors, we've got non-conference ice hockey between the Princeton Tigers, no, not those ones, the Princeton High School Tigers, and the Gloucester Catholic Rams. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Vincent Focht on the call. And Vince, this is a game between two teams that are not all that familiar with each other, but Princeton is going to give Gloucester Catholic a big bargain, and they're going to give them a lot to handle this afternoon. Princeton, 83 goals. They are an insanely offensive-heavy team, and with a 6-3-1 record, they have scored 10 or more goals in 5 games this year. So they've done a lot to get into the net. They have lit so many lamps you could power a city. But Princeton is going to give Gloucester Catholic a tough battle this afternoon.
Absolutely. This is a team that's ready to go. Rick Johnson, head coach of Princeton, has really been putting the pedal to the metal, as you could say. In other words, has 30 goals in their past 3 games. Not a lie. That is something that I can't believe I'm seeing on a stat sheet, and yet here it is. But no, contributions from all around the lineup, but the guy definitely to look out for in a big-time way is Abe Arshan, who has been the lead point, just in the lead period in terms of points this entire season with 13 goals. Coming off last year, where he was developing himself. Only had 4 goals last year, total points of 7, but I tell you what, this year 25, leading in points, something very, very special for this Princeton squad. And as for Gloucester Catholic, well, they're coming off of a victory, but they're trying to get back into that rhythm once again, trying to find any type of rhythm. They're 2-7 on the year, and this is a big opportunity to, hey, you're going up against a big-time squad again. 30 goals in the past 3 games. It's going to be a tough one. They're 6-3-1 for Princeton, so this is going to be a big one. Ilya Buranov coming in, back-to-back 2-goal games. This is a guy who's been on fire. Like I said, 4 goals in those past 2 games. He's also been contributing big time in the assist column as well. 2 assists in the past 2 games. So this is going to be pretty special to watch. We'll see if Gloucester Catholic can get any type of momentum going against a very, very hot Princeton squad.
Well, Mike Geary's the kind of head coach that really likes to ride the hot hand, and he'll give Ilya Buranov the start as a defenseman tonight. But for Princeton, you mentioned 30 goals in their last 3 games. Yeah. One of them was a 13-3 win in their most recent match over West Windsor. So public school ice hockey is a little bit iffy, but for Princeton, those 3 losses that they've had have been against some fantastic competition. They tied Hopewell Valley in the opening day. They're 7-5-1. But then they lost to Robbinsville. They topped the Colonial Valley Conference at 11-2. And then South Brunswick, 8-3. And then PVI, Paul Sixth, they're 10-2. So some of the best competition have been the only ones that the Princeton Tigers have been unable to overcome this year, and they continue to just light it up. Win after win after win. They've won 5 out of their last 6. Meanwhile, Gloucester Catholic, they've lost 6 out of their last 7. And for GC, their most recent win has been the team that they've dominated historically in St. Peter's Prep. St. Peter's, they beat them at the American Dream Mall a couple days ago, 5-1. St. Peter's Prep just hasn't had the same spark against GC, and it's been the one team that Gloucester Catholic has had some confidence against. So if they can ride that hot hand, Ilya Buranov, he had 2 goals versus Pope John, 2 goals versus St. Peter's Prep. He had none before last week, but now he's got 4, and Mike Geary's looking to ride the hot hand. But for Gloucester Catholic, I think what they really need to focus on here is limiting the turnovers.
Yep.
Their biggest flaw this season has been they have been turning over the puck way too much, especially in the neutral zone. They'll get a breakaway. They'll get a 2-on-1 match where they could very easily get a shot from maybe 12, 15 feet out and try to get something to go, but then they just can't get it done. They have to lock in. They have to find a way to be more consistent with the shot and have to find a way to not break down on the offensive side, because the defense, it's strong, but it's not strong enough to really overpower some of these teams. I mean, they haven't been blown out in a lot of games, but 8-2 versus Seton Hall Prep, 9-2 versus Don Bosco. They held their own versus Pope John. It was a 7-4 final versus the number 11 team in the state. But I think the Gloucester Catholic, they're going to have their hands full, but I think they're going to hold on, and I think they're going to find a way to make this game interesting here tonight in Sewell.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you just said, Dan, the turnovers, they have to limit them. We've seen it many different times in their breakouts, not quite being on point, not having guys cut below the blue line. We saw many different times, and as you mentioned, the neutral zone as well, kind of just flinging the puck up, hoping for the best, then kind of bounces around. Next thing you know, the opposing team is coming back into their zone with full force, and a lot of times it can be an odd man rush if you do not handle those situations the correct way. So we'll see what Gloucester Catholic can do tonight. But the turnovers, yes, Dan, you said it and you hit it on the head. It's definitely been a big problem. We'll see what they can do tonight.
Princeton Tigers and the Gloucester Catholic Rams will come up next here for some Monday afternoon hockey from the Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell, New Jersey. We'll be right back. Go ahead. Welcome back. We thought we'd have an anthem. We thought we'd have lineups, but no, we will just go straight into it. We've got the Princeton Panthers, the Princeton Tigers, and the Gloucester Catholic Rams, not to be confused with the Princeton Tigers of Princeton University. They would be wearing orange and black if that was the case. But here we go. Sticks a-clangin'. Monday afternoon hockey is underway here from Hollydale. And Gloucester Catholic with the first possession in their defensive zone. Starters for Princeton. As we get started, Princeton 6-3. Ilya Burinov trying to ride the hot hand already. Scored just 7 minutes into their last contest on Friday versus St. Peter's Prep. And there comes another shot across the way. Again, Burinov, 4 goals in his last 2 games. In the 7-4 loss at Pope John, the 7-1 win, rather 5-1 win over St. Peter's Prep. That's been the only team that they've really had a whole lot of success again, and then Gloucester Catholic starters as well. Sebastian Lavini, a new face to remember. I believe this is his first start at home this year. Of a face-off after the icing. As this one rolls around for Princeton, number 27. In Sam Gibb. As here comes a shot across the way, and it trickles in. That's a goal. Princeton. Gold Tigers from Ryan Garlock. And just 45 seconds into this contest, the Tigers take a 1-0 lead.
It looks like right there Gloucester Catholic got caught a little bit short-handed. They were caught pensioned too much a little bit in the offensive zone. Coming through the neutral zone, Princeton with the good big-time speed were able to crash the net in a great way right there. Not too much Geyser could really come up with right there at that point in time, and a good way to start for Princeton, high level.
We talked about their offense and how dominant they are. They have 84 goals now this season. Garlock with his 13th. He's now at a career-high 20 points. He had matched his junior year points total with 18. As that shot gets deflected, Bap Demers was in the middle of it. As the Tigers back behind it. Got past a little bit awry from Abe Arshan to Jacob Rottenberg. Rottenberg still defending here as it goes over to number 33, Afansel Kislik. He also had a goal in that St. Peter's Prep win. Out on the right wing. Shot deflected up. Didn't go. Peter Pasuti, the goalie for Princeton. I keep wanting to say Princeton Day because that's how we started our season back on December the 2nd. But now here comes another drive by Princeton on the right side, right to Geyser, and he'll save it with the glove. And with his chest, too.
And it looked like right there Abe Arshan once again, a guy who's been all over the place. Again, the lead points maker so far this season for Princeton was going in there. Incredible little deke move, tried to get it in and went right in the breadbasket, though, of Geyser. But still, great stuff from this Princeton squad early on as they had the offensive faceoff. We'll see if they continue the press.
Richie Geyser for Gloucester Catholic does have the save percentage advantage over Peter Pasuti. 181 saves for a percentage of 85.1. There's a shot from Burinov. Got checked after the shot, but another slap that goes right to the center of Peter Pasuti. Pasuti has 139 saves and 171 shots allowed for a percentage of 81.3. So he has allowed 31 goals, and Geyser has also allowed 31 goals. So the numbers are somewhat even, although Geyser has the advantage by 4 percentage points. Tries to rattle that one out of the face-off. Again, Princeton holding a very early 1-0 lead here in Gloucester County as it's on the right side. Trying to shove that one out. No luck there as Dylan Hake was on the possession. This one goes back, wrapping around the outer boards for Burinov. And in the middle of that one as well was Christian Gomez. Burinov back over, again trailing behind Geyser here as Princeton goes for the check, doesn't get it. And they almost turn it over. That one skips off of Burinov's foot, and he's able to keep it in with the save from his cleat. Now back behind Pasuti. Tries to get it in. No offside. His foot was on the blue line. Burinov in 4-on-1 traffic here, and it gets turned over. Panthers puck with Garlock. But it did go to the other end of the ice. Gloucester Catholic retains the possession. I think that one goal from Princeton, maybe I'll be wrong, but that might settle things down a little bit. I mean, I feel like this is one of the tamer games that we've done all year. I mean, obviously, St. Augustine, that had a lot of hits, that had a lot of fireworks. Wow, a line drive shot. That was from way downtown. That was from behind the blue line from the offside circle, taken by Sam Gibb. Now another chance for Princeton, gets broken up. Back to the center. tries to kind of bully it out. It's now on the right side. Backhand pass doesn't go. It's back to Gomez. Now here comes Burinov. He'll try to ride the hot hand. Shot no good. Aimed a little bit too low that time, as Burinov would have had his 5th goal in 3 games. As we mentioned, he only had 1 assist versus St. Peter's Prep and had no goals in the month of December or January up to that point. Now it's back to Burinov. But again, Mike Geary, he likes to ride the hot hand. He's not going to take away a starting opportunity if you're doing good. But even then, I mean, you know, I think if you've scored a goal in the last game, you're almost guaranteed to get a start in the next if you're Mike Geary. And that's what happens when we cover teams for a full season. You know, Vince, you've worked with us for long enough to know that there's some teams that we only see once a year. And we can ask ourselves, well, why does the coach think this? Why does the coach do this? When you've covered a game for 6 games, or covered a team for 6 games, like Gloucester Catholic, and we still have 4 more, by the time we get to our last versus Haverford on January 26th, we're going to know a lot more about this team than we already do. One wraps around the boards after a couple of shots there. Shots taken by Martone, the right wing. And Princeton does complete the turnover. 10.5 minutes left in the first period from Hollydale Ice Arena in Sewell, New Jersey. It's a little bit warmer outside than it is here today, 43 degrees in the outdoors. But, of course, this is that time of year where the only thing we have to worry about for the weather is how quickly we have to go indoors. That one hit the roof. Bit of a low-hanging roof here in Sewell, and it's out of bounds. You don't have that problem at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, sometimes it could almost hit the scoreboard. I mean, it's pretty high up.
Yeah, that's true. The scoreboard. I forgot about the scoreboard.
It's pretty high up. But, no, I mean, so far what we've been seeing, I like the play I'm seeing from Burnoff, getting behind the line of the fence, doing a little bit of some cherry-picking action, got in the slot, and also made some good plays with the pass in the slot. So he's been all over the place, really trying to extend the points.
This one gets turned over. Here comes the Tigers with a stretch. Tried to get the breakaway to go. He gets pushed from the back. Dylan Hake couldn't get the goal to fall. He had 2 GC defenders right behind him, so he had an open lane, but he doesn't get it as Geyser picks up the save. And now with one hand, he'll try to fish this one over to Afanzel Kislik. Kislik all alone. Back behind Pasuti in the net. Out on the left wing, in front of the face-off circle. Now over to the blue line. Burinov on the left wing. Snakes over. Tries to get some deception in his game. Still hanging on to the puck, though, and almost turned it over. You've got this 3-2 zone here for Princeton as it gets saved by Pasuti. That's the good thing about covering a whole bunch of basketball games. We can start talking about defenses and, you know, even in basketball or hockey. You know, you see the same philosophies, but Princeton stacking a lot of guys towards the goalie, trying to find a way to, you know, instead of attacking the attacker directly, instead of, you know, inching in, lasering in on him, as there's a nice one. Cole Burns kind of wiped out as he was taking that shot. GC hangs onto it. Spinning around, Burinov, 2-on-1. Princeton. We talked about Gloucester Catholic and how their hands would be full. Certainly is true today. Here comes a turnover. 1-2, punch. No good. Geyser on his back, and he's able to save it. Geyser got put on his back that time. A couple of shots fell from Bap Demerge and Jacob Rotenberg. And Geyser with a nice acrobatic save there. We've seen a couple of those this year from Geyser as it goes back around. Nice move by Burinov on the left side. Moving deep along the right wing for number 19. That's Nolan Doyle, the freshman. Picked up a goal early in December this season versus St. Peter's. Shot, tipped up, and it's batted down by Gibb. Check that by Emil Vecchi. Back over to the middle. Princeton able to clear it. Not for long, though. Gloucester Catholic hanging on the possession. Gets checked into the boards by Abe Arshan. Princeton Day's leading scorer in goals with 13, although should be noted, Garlock tied him for that remark with 13, as there's a line drive shot up off the top of the glass, and it ricochets all the way to the other end of the ice. It's picked up by Vecchi. It's taken down. Here comes another chance here as Gibb rebounds. Really able to take advantage of a bad situation there as Gibb getting shoved all around by Niederman. Niederman, one of the most physical players that Gloucester Catholic has. We've got a delayed penalty coming? Or I thought, no, never mind. My bad.
Yeah, they were going to say if he was offsides or not.
It was an offside warning. My apologies. I'm still relatively new. I've only called a handful of ice hockey games. You have done many more. Out on the right side. Tips it up. Geyser deflects it off, and the possession stays alive. I feel like Geyser should have tried to rein that one in and get a glove save to stop the play, but instead it's Burinov. Shot! Almost lit the lamp at the top. Doesn't go. And this one ricochets again, waiting for icing, and we've got icing. 7:21 left in the first period, but Burinov, he's been making some great moves so far for Gloucester Catholic.
Oh, absolutely. The one thing I would look for more with Gloucester Catholic is getting guys in the slot, clogging up in front of the crease. This is something where they're doing incredible with moving it around the rim, but you got to get movement, or else you're just going to have the defense of Princeton standing there blocking any shot. No slot. Shooting slots are going to open up. They need to get people in front, like right here.
Yeah, there's another chance there. Comes out for Martone. Back in front of the blue line. That shot straight away. Again, Gloucester Catholic taking the approach of crashing the net, trying to get as many shots off as they can. This one gets turned over. It's back to Ryan Odell. Odell 2-on-1, tries to maneuver through, but he falters and loses the puck. It goes back to 22, Cole Pastor. This being our first ice hockey game of the new year. Haven't seen these guys since December the 30th and a 3-0 loss to St. Augustine. That one's tipped up. Geyser deflected it, and it hits the net. I don't know how much Geyser could have done there. I mean, he just kind of tipped it up, and maybe he went for the glove, and it just deflected wrong. But kind of lucky that that puck went out of bounds so that he didn't have to worry about any repercussions from that.
It looked like he was trying to maneuver his forearms up, just trying to get a little tip of whatnot. Luckily for him, it went out of play. But
yeah, if there's one thing that you don't want, and even worse than a goal, is a goal that you could have prevented. That one goes to the right side of the net. Pass back to the right defenseman in Alex Shee. Oh, that's up and in.
Oh.
Goal, Princeton. A nice maneuver, and Abe Arshon, after tying Ryan Garlock for Princeton's goal lead in the first period, adds on another of his own, and the Tigers lit it 2-0.
Arshon at the right place at the right time, the point leader for Princeton, getting on the board here for Princeton as, again, crashing the net. We saw many different times the forwards, the center doing their job down low for Princeton, why they have the 2-0 lead. Meanwhile, the defensemen are up top where they're supposed to be, and it's kind of that full collapse that Gloucester Catholic is trying to stay away from. Unfortunately, they got caught a couple times tonight.
And here comes Arshon, another chance. He's broken away. He's free, and he can't get it to go. Too high on the shot. Princeton retains possession. And another chance for the Tigers. Again, just a lot of shifting around here as Gloucester Catholic trying to punch the puck out at any juncture that they can get. As Arshon, a sophomore, versus Garlock, the senior. Arshon, that was his 18th career goal. As you said in the open, just warming up. Arshon can't get it to go. So close that time again. I mean, if Princeton gets another goal here, and you can already tell they're dominating the offensive zone, they're dominating pretty much every possession. If Gloucester Catholic doesn't have the puck, you can best believe that Princeton's going to get a shot off. We're going to have icing. Close call.
Yeah,
that's the right call.
It is an icing, but I mean, you look back at Gloucester Catholic, just seemed to be a step behind right here, and something where even down low, not really putting body on body, kind of letting Princeton just have all the time in the world to set up, especially below your own goal line, a place where they really should not be given any time. You should be pressuring them 100%. You're not on the penalty kill. This should be man on man, body on body. That's
exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say that during that last possession, when Princeton was kind of attacking the goal and was making a really close case, it felt like Gloucester Catholic was playing on a penalty kill, but no, we're at full strength here. So, time to turn on the Jets. Burinov, right side, just behind the net, missed that time, turned over now. Gloucester Catholic sends him to the ground. Interesting there as it now goes back over to Brandon Doohan, the sophomore, turned over. Here come the Tigers. Looking for goal number 3, runs over Geyser. Geyser has to get back on his feet. He does. Not easy there with the contact made with the goalkeeper. Here come the Rams again in transition. Burinov gets a shot. and it doesn't go. Tipped up a few times. Now the puck is loose, and now Gloucester Catholic's gonna be defense mode again as Garlock burns past one, can't get past the second. A crouch block by the Rams, and they hang on to the possession. Now for 33, Kislik. And again, continuing to put the pressure on the Rams defensively, not really getting any they've only gotten a handful of clean shots off without a lot of pressure. It's Burinov was at the top of the offensive zone and now moves to the right side, but he just turns it over. Now Princeton's going to take their time. Puck is loose. They turn it over there. Really one of the few poor offensive possessions for Princeton we've seen in this first period. As it goes to Kislik. A couple of shift changes for both sides. Gloucester Catholic looking to take advantage of that as Princeton Day was kind of hugging towards their sideline, as they made a few substitutions. But now Princeton has the possession again. After a flick, it goes to Campbell, and Geyser gets the glove save. You know what we haven't seen in this game? No hostility.
Yeah.
I think that might be, maybe that's just a byproduct of Princeton being a public school. I don't know, but in a lot of these parochial versus parochial games, we've seen a lot of fireworks fly, especially in that St. Augustine game. But here, I feel like at the same time, like, you know, I can't make the excuse of these teams don't know each other. There's another save by Geyser, because we saw games with Don Bosco that got pretty heated. St. Peter's, Bergen Catholic, you know, those teams are from far out. But with Princeton and the Princeton Tigers, hold on here. Here comes a breakaway. Here come the Rams. Princeton's going to try to catch up, and he scores. Goal, Gloucester Catholic. It comes in from Sebastian Lavini. And the Rams are on the board. It's 2-1.
Yeah, right there, a little bit of a flub by Ryan Odell. That's one of those times you have to kind of just pat your teammate on the back. It's a mistake that's pretty unfortunate to happen. Kind of a flub, just hops over your stick. And Gloucester Catholic, again, these are the type of opportunities you need to take advantage of. You need to capitalize on if you want to have a comeback in this game. Again, 2-1. You got a lot of time. 2 more periods. You still have under 3 in this period. Perfect opportunity to get back, get the momentum on your side.
That is the first career goal for Sebastian Lavini, the sophomore defenseman who comes in and makes this a 2-1 game for Gloucester Catholic. I was saying that if Princeton Day scored again, I felt like this game was going to start to run away already, but listen, I can't be the one to talk about games running away. We remember Princeton Day and Gloucester Catholic from December the 2nd, a game that was 4-1. Gloucester Catholic looked like they had it made. A late third period lead, and then Princeton Day scored 6 goals in 6 minutes, including a hat trick, and won the game 7-5. Ball deflects around the inner boards for Alex Shee, the freshman, and now tipped by Jacob Rotenberg, the junior forward. They say GC is onside, did not go fully behind the blue line. Here comes another chance for Princeton. Tipped, saved by Geyser, and a bulldozing right at the end. And talk about that hostility.
There it is.
We were missing that. I think Chad Niederman got in the middle of that, or Michael Reagan.
I think everyone will part ways here. And we'll just...
No, I don't think that was anything other than the fact that there was some contact after the play that spilled over a little bit. But Abar Shan was in the middle of that. No penalties, though. Yeah, I mean, you have to have a certain precedent for there to be a roughing call after the whistle if you shove somebody down. I mean, if he shoves down and falls, that's a different story. But how about that glove save in the air by Richie Geyser, being able to make that?
All of these offensive attacks have happened from the incredible defense Princeton has been playing. They've been catching Gloucester Catholic on the rim of the offensive zone constantly, not really getting any slot action. And now Princeton here with some good offensive chances because of it.
2-1. Princeton Day leads Gloucester Catholic in the final 2 minutes of the first period. Here comes Burinov. They're going to try to ride the hot hand, although he gets swarmed by the Tigers. Double teamed. Tripping over my words today is this one. Oh, Niederman sends a man down, and finding his way to the other end of the ice is Mason Merce. Trap at the blue line. Niederman has it. I don't think he saw the puck originally. He looked to his right and there was nothing there. Gets past him. Check the check. Look at Alana Bellin, the freshman. She's getting the check in there. Always love to see that. As Niederman. Again, Niederman, we talked about him, one of the more physical guys on this GC team. He's going to check you. He might get himself in a little bit of trouble, but he's a valuable asset. As here comes another miss. Anders Heeden just completely whiffed on it, and he scores! Tie game! Afanzel Kislik buries it on the upper right. Get yourself a lighter because that lamp is lit, and it's 2-2 with 53 seconds left in the first period.
Oh, man, you want to talk about capitalizing off of unfortunate chances from Princeton. That's the second turnover that led to a goal. Both goals were because of flubbed plays by Princeton. And here we go again. Gloucester Catholic taking advantage of it. Capitalization is the big key here. It is tied. We're back 0-0 again.
Kislik spinning that one around. Now Princeton. Oh, another whiff here. Just really interesting how this is shaping up as Gloucester Catholic kind of holding their own here. They were down 2-0. Thought this would have been another offensive showcase for Princeton, but instead we got 2-2 in the first. Well, that gets tipped up. They do not call high sticking. He kind of tipped that one up at chest level, so I don't think it was enough. But Burinov on the right side lost the puck briefly. Now sends Ryan Odell to the ground. A lot of freshmen on these lines for Princeton. We talked about Arshawn, but also Nathan Benzal, a freshman. Alex Shee, Ryan Odell, Oliver Lee, and Jasper Block. Got the shot off before the buzzer, but at the end of the first period, got a broken something on the ice there as Burinov.
Oh, and there goes the stick.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was, but you can see one half of the stick over there and the other half about 10 feet away. But a high-scoring affair here in Sewell, as at the end of the first, not a lot of fireworks in the, let's just say, hostility department, but a lot of fireworks in the goal department. 2 for each side. We're knotted up after one period here at Hollydale. 2-2, Princeton and Gloucester Catholic. Second period, ready to go here from Hollydale Ice Arena. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Focht of Camden County College. My producer to my right is David Cohen of Rowan University. Vince, this has been an interesting first period, one where Princeton Day got off to a 2-0 start. Looked like nothing could stop the 85-goal Princeton Tigers in their first 10 matches, but instead, Gloucester Catholic came back, got a goal from Sebastian Lavini, and then another from Afansel Kislik, and they've tied this game up at the intermission.
Absolutely. Princeton had all of the momentum on their side through the early minutes of this period. We're really getting pucks down low, and actually we're also getting behind the Gloucester Catholic defense until Gloucester Catholic started capitalizing on opportunities from Princeton. Princeton coughing the puck up twice. Both goals were because of a turnover and just a missed shot attempt. So Gloucester Catholic capitalizing. That's been key. But one thing I want to see from GC more is their ability to move the puck in the offensive zone. They move it around the rim, but Princeton's been figuring that out. They need to get bodies in front. They need to clog up the slot. They need to get traffic to the net. That's the only way that they'll be able to capitalize even more on goals in the offensive zone.
Sebastian Lavini had the first touch of the second period, and we're underway once again. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper look out, pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, 614 Lambs Road. Got a man down and a penalty. So, yeah, he got slammed into the boards there on the inner glass, and shaken up is Liam Campbell.
If I was to guess they're going to call, is it probably a boarding penalty?
Yeah, that would be my guess, because he kind of just trapped him in there, and he hit him hard. Now, luckily, he's able to walk off under his own power, but they are going to send Cole Pastor to the penalty box, presumably for 2 minutes, 2-minute minor for boarding.
Yeah, it looks like it sounds like what I just heard is that boarding is going to be the call, as he's arguing his case as well. I think the main thing is, and I've experienced this as well, when you're going up against a smaller opponent, it's a lot easier to have it look like a penalty in terms of him going down, kind of looking like you're just doing an absolute roughing, just a roughing call could be. I mean, it's just many different things come into.
Oh, they're going to give it a 5-minute major for Cole Pastor. Wow, that's interesting. So a 5-minute major for Cole Pastor. We are going to have a long power play for Princeton.
And remember, if they score, they can keep on scoring. It doesn't matter. They will not end their power play.
Yeah, that is the one difference because of the major penalty. Now, yeah, Princeton's going to have a strong advantage here as Abe Arshon. So Gloucester Catholic, I mean, they've been solid at penalty kills this year. They haven't been perfect at it, but no team is perfect at it. They've been solid enough. I mean, we saw versus St. Augustine on the 30th. There were a lot of instances where they took off a power play, but also in that game, the game where Cameron DeLeo scored twice, both of his goals were on power plays. So, I mean, Gloucester Catholic also has put themselves in a lot of trouble with penalties. So, the best way to get a penalty kill is to not get a penalty in the first place. As here goes Arshon. Geyser lost his stick, but he can't retrieve it because the puck is in that zone. Now he gets it fished to him. You can see his view was kind of blocked there. Here comes Buranov. Shoots wide right. Princeton went for the crouch, but they missed with Garlock. And now it comes back down the other end of the ice. Princeton gets a shot off, misses wide right. Now they'll try a wrap around here. Back to Arshon, right side, in front of the face-off circle. Tries to trap him, doesn't go. Buranov on the defense, sends him into the boards again. Goes back out for Duhan. Gloucester Catholic trying to hang on to the possession here, but we're already a minute and a half down in the power play with no goal. Tipped up. Got a delayed penalty coming. Offside, excuse me. I keep messing that one up. Just an offside warning. That's why you're here, Vince. You're the hockey guy. You're here to correct me. But goes out to Niederman. Although I should note we do have several gigs with the ABHA in the spring and late winter of 2026. We'll be opening. Let's hold on here. Open, crouch block, shot, rattles out. Stays alive for the Tigers. Coming in from behind, Hayden was up behind Baptiste Emerge, the sophomore, as now here comes Niederman. Gets it wide right behind the goalkeeper, Peter Pasuti, the junior for Princeton. Backhanded slap by Burns. Again, just a lot of stale action so far. but the penalty only came 30 seconds into the second period. As this one goes back with Arshawn on the right, gets turned over. Now here comes Burinov at center ice, one-on-one. Princeton with a hard charge in front of him as Burinov's shot saved by Pasuti. And this so far is a good penalty kill by Gloucester Catholic. We're halfway through it already. Feels like time flies, but we saw no stoppages in that first 2.5 minutes, and that's what's key. If you give Princeton more face-offs, if you give them more opportunities to get the puck in that power play, then, well, they're going to get a chance to score. And you mentioned, Vince, with the 5-minute major, that if they score, it does not kill the power play. As here comes the Tigers. Whiffs on it. And that is how both GC goals have been today. Both Gloucester Catholic goals were a direct result of Princeton either whiffing or misplacing a shot. As this one now goes, open look, shot missed, saved by Geyser. Tipped up off of his left forearm as the shot by Rotenberg. The senior is no good, now turns around, slap shot with a quick misdirection by Hagt and hit off of Geyser's mask, and he lost his mask.
I'll tell you what, luckily they blew the whistle dead. Always dangerous when the goalie loses his mask. But, I mean, again, as we were stating, this has been a strong penalty kill from Gloucester Catholic. They got a little lucky during these past couple of minutes as they looked like they got caught on the change a couple times ago when Princeton was making a rush up the ice. But overall, great job of keeping them to the outside, keeping them to the rim, not really giving Princeton too much availability in the slot, especially in front of the crease as well. Guys has been holding up his part. So far, so good. Still got some time to go left, just under 2 minutes.
Yeah, now it's just a standard power play, you know? I mean, standard as in we have 2 minutes instead of 5. Obviously, we mentioned before the major makes it a little bit unusual in that regard, but rolling around this time. Yeah, Geyser losing his mask is never a good situation. It's kind of like a Jason Witten situation in football, except in that, you know, your head is hitting grass, not ice. That's a little bit different. But still, a player's safety is a major concern, so it's a good thing they blew that whistle dead as soon as they could. 11 minutes to play in the second period. It's a high-scoring affair, but we haven't seen any goals in this second period yet. But here comes a shot saved by Geyser. He uses his stick to reel it in, and the shot just missed that time from Anders Heaton, the senior forward. 5 goals, 19 assists. He had 11 goals in his junior year. He has 20 in his career, 20 goals, 32 assists, and 52 total points, all said and done. Had a 2-goal performance on opening night versus Hopewell Valley on December the 5th. Feels like eons ago, but that was a 5-5 tie. From way downtown, saved after the shot from O'Neill found the glove of Geyser. So back-to-back glove saves for Richie Geyser.
Yeah, Princeton finally starting to get that idea, getting traffic in front. Great save by Geyser. Had traffic, looked like he just got enough sight on it.
O'Neill turned over. Burinov is there. Goes back to Martone. Flicks it up off the side of the boards. And the back check by Emil Vecchi. Or check that, Samuel Gibb, the sophomore. Back over to Rotenberg. Left side, working through the traffic. Shots! Oh, that might have hit the crossbar. If not, it just missed high. And now another chance. As Garlock couldn't get it there. That would have been his second. Already has a goal today. No icing. Wraps around the outer boards on the right side. Under 30 seconds left as there comes a big check. Not a huge check, but enough to raise your eyebrows. 20 seconds left as here comes a shot up the middle. Didn't go. And if Gloucester Catholic can kill this power play, this will be a huge momentum changer. Burinov, right side, flicked up and no good. As Burinov just barely found the junior, Peter Pasuti, who was able to take that puck from an odd angle. And we now have 7 seconds left in the power play. This listen, this is going to be, because it's Gloucester Catholic shot, the face-off is going to be from in front of Pasuti. This is a massive power play kill, assuming Princeton Day doesn't take a full rink heave and get themselves on the board here.
I tell you what,
a 5-minute major, I surely would have thought Princeton would have scored at least once.
Burnoff almost lifted the ceiling off of this place. If he completed that beautiful toe drag in between the legs, couldn't lift it quite high enough. But, oh, man,
Here comes Burinov. He's going to clear this. How about that? 5-minute major, and Burns is going to come back on the ice, although no, he's just going to move from the penalty box. And the power play is over. How about that? Goes over to Bobby DeTurk, the newest man on the ice for Gloucester Catholic. He goes down. Niederman went down. No tripping, though. Shot saved by Geyser. Another little crafty shot that time from 35, Baptiste Demerge, who has 13 goals this year. So, I mean, right now we had a three-way tie for a little while for the goal lead because Garlock, Demerge, and Arshon all had 13. But then Arshon scored just a few minutes later for goal number 14, and now he is the outright leader again. Shot misses as that one wove through traffic that time. A nice little shot as Geyser gets another save. That first shot taken on the left wing by Jacob Rotenberg. Rotenberg with another chance. Oh! Geyser down. And everybody separated here as Geyser falls on his back but is able to make the save. This is some incredible defense here from Richie Geyser as the shot that time from Demerge, his fourth of the game, did not fall. And we'll have another face-off here in Princeton territory.
Looked like Merce was in the area. That back door was certainly open, unfortunately whiffing on that rebound. But, man, oh, man, they're getting close.
They're getting awfully close here as this one whiffs. Here come the Rams. Niederman, rather Duhan. Actually, that's Regan, number 97. Back to Rotenberg. Rotenberg flicks it up, finds nobody, and Geyser lets it hit the stick and then the glove. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. Visit southjerseynaba.com as registration is open for the spring of 2026. With over 20 teams across 4 competitive divisions, you can sign up today to become a member of South Jersey's highest level and South Jersey's most competitive men's baseball league. Be covering some of those guys in April and May for your Sunday morning delights as a little bit of shiftiness there from Duhan on the faceoff. Princeton Day won the faceoff, but not for long. Here come the Rams as Lavini catches it off the right boards. Now flicks it around the inner side. Picked up by Martone. Shot! Oh, Lavini almost had his second. Picked up his first career goal earlier as that one doesn't go, and it just deflects from the net over the glass and onto the first level of seating. So Burns took a shot there, but Burns back on the ice after the 5-minute major for boarding. We've got 8:22 left in the second, and after a high-scoring first period, which saw 4 total goals, 2 from both sides, nobody has found the net here in period number 2. Duhan again on Heaton on the face-off as it goes back to Burns. On the right side, shot got deflected a few times. Again, trying to disrupt Pasuti's line of sight as a big check. Martone goes down, gets on his feet quickly, though. Burns with the shot from Haged. Back behind the first blue line. For Vecchi. Wraps around the inner boards. Left to right. Now to Burns. Martone takes a slide. We did mention off the air, but we'll mention it on the air. This is the first time for a Gloucester Catholic game this year that we've had the cut of the ice after the first period instead of the second. In all home games this year, we've had the 15-minute intermission after the second and before the third. So this is a bit of an interesting one, but we'll see how they go for period number 3. As we've got 7.5. Geyser off to the left side of his net. Now back to Burns. Burns. They say it's onside. Burns lost it. Burns still controlling the possession. Gets a check from Emil Vecchi. That shot got tipped up. I think Princeton tipped that up and it hit the side post. So again, almost making another mistake here as now here come the Tigers. Mason Merce, the freshman, gets wiped out. Elena Burnov is back in it. Gloucester Catholic completes a turnover. I feel like both teams are having turnover trouble, which might be the only thing that's giving Gloucester Catholic an advantage is that Gloucester Catholic, their biggest kryptonite, their biggest woe is the turnovers. And Princeton having an issue with that as well, as that tips up and out of play. 6:34 to play in the second period. Our schedule for the rest of this week on DWB, we do have another Gloucester Catholic ice hockey game, our 7th out of 10 this year. as we'll see the Seton Hall Prep Pirates versus the Rams on Thursday, January the 15th. Tomorrow, we've got Colonial Conference boys basketball at Gloucester City as they face the Paulsboro Red Raiders in a highly touted divisional matchup. And then on Friday, it's BCSL basketball. 6-2 Palmyra faces 7-1 Delran. Should be a really fun matchup in Delran on Hartford Road on Friday, 6:30 p.m. tip-off from Delran High School. And then on Saturday, we close out the week with a Group 1 non-conference match between Shalleck and Haddon Township. 10 a.m. tip-off from the George Mayer Gym in Haddon Township. A couple of shots just ended up becoming cannon fodder there. As Princeton wanted a penalty, didn't get it, as one guy was laid out in front of the goal. And maybe a little bit of a revenge shot that time from 21 in Mason Merce, the freshman, for a very, very young Princeton roster. This one got tipped up. Kislick, now Niederman sends him to the ground. As now Gloucester Catholic playing a little bit of bully ball here. And the intensity is going to continue to increase here for a non-conference matchup with Princeton and GC. Back to the top. Buranov riding the hot hand. Slap shot. Oh, Niederman whiffed on it. They wanted the 1-2 punch, but instead the slap turned into more of a I don't know what you want to call it, but the slap didn't go the way that Niederman wanted it to. Buranov brought it right to him. Now, Buranov used those moves, and they sent him to the ground right behind Geyser. It hits the top of the glass and now the net and out of play. Great possession there by Gloucester Catholic.
So, I mean, we'll go back. We'll take a step back a little bit as what was going on in front of the net as we saw Burnoff, and it looked like it was number 27 of Sam Gibb as the jersey numbers were scrunched up. I was trying to see if that was 21 or 27.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard to tell in the sweaters, but
and they both were going at each other right there. Burnoff got a trip. Obviously, Princeton wanting a penalty, and as well, Gibb was getting in there on Burnoff. So it was a back and forth. The officials kind of letting it go.
Wait. Oh, Geyser's helmet is off, and they resumed play. He's not looking. He had his back turned. They should not have gotten the face-off. Geyser wasn't ready. He had his back turned to the face-off circle, and his helmet was off. I feel like the referee's got to check that, or else, I mean, maybe it's just if you're not ready, you got to pay for it, but we'll have an icing here. I don't know. What do you think there?
I mean, that should be...
Somebody pointed it out, and then I looked over, and Geyser had his back turned and was drinking the Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, that's the official. The official at the very top of the line should have noticed that. That is their job to make sure that both goalies are ready before every face-off. It looks like he is having an issue possibly with his helmet once again. We already saw that earlier.
He took it off before, and maybe it's an equipment issue. He did get a puck to the helmet earlier.
Yeah.
Earlier in this period, actually. So I'm curious if maybe something got bent up, but now that his helmet's on, we'll have time for another face-off. But imagine the outrage if Princeton would have scored on that, where Geyser basically got a bad deal because he wasn't ready. I mean, imagine if that happened in soccer. Send another man to the ground in Burns. Well, Burns was the one who sent Garlock to the ground. 4.5 to play in the second period. After a high-scoring first, the scoring has settled down and the defense is ramped up, mostly led by a 5-minute major against Cole Burns for Burns. We're going to have a delayed penalty here as Burns got wiped out, and we've got some action in front of the net. Burns is down. Tripping is the call. Burns got wiped out there, and this is going to be a penalty against Princeton, as going to the penalty box will be number 48, Alex Shee, the freshman.
Yeah, as we saw Burns right there kind of cutting in through the right wing, trying to cut into the slot, cut in front, and unfortunately the stick got a little bit too much right there, got under his skate, went down. Lucky he didn't pull anything. That's what I thought may have happened when he went down, was not getting back up. But luckily he is okay for their sake, and now Gloucester Catholic has a chance here on a big-time power play as we are just... So we're under the halfway point now, the second period.
4:10 to play in the second. This one's tipped up. So first power play of the game for Gloucester Catholic, and they'll have to use their cards wisely here as under 4 minutes to play, we'll get out of the power play with just over 2 minutes. Gloucester Catholic advancing on the front line. Spinning around, sent another man down, but that looked like it was incidental as hands it off. Doesn't get anything there. Now back out behind Pasuti. Tries to get a shot off, doesn't go. Burinov back at it. And getting wrestled out by Vecchi. Out on the right side, Burinov again. Back to Pasuti. Spinning around. Burinov still on the left side. Already a minute down in the power play. Well, a minute and some change. Now it's 1 minute in the power play. 3:10 to play. No goals in this second period. Gloucester Catholic's goals have come from Sebastian Lavini and Afansel Kislik. His third of the year. Burns wanted the puck. He gets it. Back at the top. Feeds it to the left. Gloucester Catholic taking their time. They got to be more aggressive here as Burinov, I mean, they're just trying to play their cards, and they just turned it over. It's back. No icing. Geyser tips it. Wraps it around. And successfully got it away from Liam Campbell, who was charging hard. Back to Lavini. Lavini on the right side. He has the puck. 20 seconds left in the power play. Gets checked into the inner boards. Good hit there. Now goes back out to Kislik. Burns. Back to Burinov. He missed it. Now we've got an offside warning. They're going to have to go back behind. It's Burns. They'll try to advance again. This is going to be a big power play kill here for Princeton. 2 seconds. He shot, missed, and at the very end of the power play, you can count that one as a goal. Afansel Kislik with his second of the day. Honestly, the buzzer ran out, but the fifth man didn't even get on the ice yet, so I think we can count that as a power play goal, as it is a 3-2 lead for Gloucester Catholic. Afansel Kislik riding the hot hand. 2 goals today as the forward makes it 3-2 with 2:10 to play in the third and second.
Kislik in the perfect place at the right time, right in front, clogging the slot. This is something where I was gonna hit him for it, saying that they were not getting enough guys in the slot of play. They were working the half-wall wall, working well below the goal line, but couldn't get much going on. Princeton looked like they were going to come out with another kill, their first kill. But on the other hand,
this one goes over the middle as Princeton Day tried to tie it back up. I know in the scorecard that won't count as a power play goal because the buzzer ran out, but I mean, it was literally 2 minutes after the power play started, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. The fifth man didn't even get on the ice yet, so that's as close to a power play goal as you can get without it actually counting as a power play goal. 1:37 to play. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for more information. Getting it back going here. Gloucester Catholic has been pretty nice with the face-offs today as Regan with a tip to Burinov. This one rolls and icing. Again, our next broadcast will be a 5:30 p.m. tip-off tomorrow night with our good friend Chase Parson back on the call between Paulsboro and Gloucester. We do have 3 more games left with Gloucester Catholic. We'll be back here on Thursday versus Seton Hall Prep. We'll be back on Tuesday the 20th versus Pope John. And then our last game is versus Haverford of Pennsylvania on the 26th of January. Quick move by Princeton. Trying to slide this one around for a wraparound. Tips off of Regan's foot. Minute 10 in the second. Back to Duhan. Duhan, shot, score! Gloucester Catholic. No need for a power play. We'll take 2, and we'll call you in the morning. Brendan Duhan, no, that's Justin Martone with the goal. And Gloucester Catholic takes a 4-2 lead as Justin Martone buries it at the top of the lamp. And with 1 minute and 2 seconds left in the second period, remember that Princeton had a 2-0 lead in the first period. Gloucester Catholic then scored 2 in the second, and now they're basically on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, it was a great breakout.
Because the 2 goals that Princeton had were very early in this game. But 4-2, Gloucester Catholic. 50 seconds left. After the goal by Justin Martone, Afanzo Kislik has had 2 for the Rams. It's Princeton Day trying to attack Geyser from behind the net. It's back to Burns. Alana Bellin on the ice for the Rams. The freshman, as Burns, triple teamed that time, gets tipped up and brought back down to Campbell. Back at center ice, 25 seconds. Enough time for Princeton Day to make something happen. We've got a stall out here in front of the Princeton bench. They got a front row seat. Offside warning now negated as Gloucester Catholic has it. No ice. 10 seconds. Got tipped around. Gloucester Catholic looking for the last possession. Tipped by Bellin. 3 seconds. Not going to have enough time to get a shot. And at the end, as Princeton Day hucked it down the ice at the end of the second period, Gloucester Catholic takes a 4-2 lead. So an interesting ball game here in Sewell as Gloucester Catholic is on a 4-0 run. They were down by 2 early in this one, and now they've scored 4 unanswered. The Rams lead the Tigers 4-2 at the end of the second. Because the intermission happened after the first, we will take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back for period number 3 here from the Hollydale Ice Arena. We'll be right back. 2 periods down, 1 to go here from the Holiday Ice Arena. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Vincent Focht of Camden County College, and my producer is David Cohen of Rowan University. We've got a good game on hand, but 4 unanswered goals for Gloucester Catholic made a 2-goal deficit into a 2-goal lead. Made a bad situation and turned it into a great one for the Rams. As we're underway in period number 3. Really good period for Gloucester Catholic. I mean, they've scored 2 goals in each period, but the thing that really stuck out to me was the fact that across a 5-minute major power play, that shot went up near the second deck as Cole Burns got 5 minutes for boarding, and Princeton got 0 goals out of it. I think that's one of the more impressive stands that we've seen all season from Gloucester Catholic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, their defense came ready to play. They were keeping them to the rim of the zone, not really giving them too many chances. And the chances that they did get, well, Geyser had perfect sight, perfect vision, was able to come up with the save, even though he did lose his helmet a couple times, but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what was up with Geyser, but it seems like he's fine now, and I don't even think he switched out his helmet. So I don't know if it was just an equipment malfunction or if it was a little bit loose, but Geyser is able to save that one on the right side. As we said, Geyser does have the save percentage advantage with 85.4. Pasuti for Princeton is about 81.4%. But they have allowed the same number of goals, 31. Just one has gotten way more shots than the other. And that's one thing that has hampered Gloucester Catholic this year, is that they have struggled with their defense, and they have been unable to prevent teams from getting the shot off. But they have prevented them a lot from getting in the goal, and that's the difference. But the one team that they've beaten this year is St. Peter's Prep. This would be their first win, not named the Marauders, this year. I mean, they had 1 win over the Hun School last year and then 2 over St. Peter's Prep. So 4 out of their last 5 wins across this year and last year have both been from Jersey City and St. Peter's. So it'll be interesting to see if they can knock the Princeton Tigers of the Colonial Valley Conference. Ooh. Got a man down. Burns gets it out. And the Rams have it back for DeTurk now on the left side. Skating past everybody. It's Lavini. Shot missed. Keslick whiffs on it. Now it goes back to the Rams. Rotenberg trying to get in the middle of it. Shot coast to coast. Now up on it is Peter Ross, the sophomore. I haven't heard his name today. There's again another stall out there in front of or behind the net. Just trying to jockey for position. Another chance for Princeton. Taking their time, flips it back. And Campbell couldn't get the shot off. Back to the right side for Ross. Coast to coast, back behind the line. And there were 2 guys that were way up in front of the net, so they had to clear that without a lot of space. As now Burinov gets the turnover. Gets a shove, doesn't get it, shot doesn't go. And it goes back to Rotenberg. Puck is at center ice. Niederman with Merce in tow, the freshman. Niederman, a senior on a relatively senior-heavy Gloucester Catholic team, with Burns, Gadzinski, who we have not seen today. I'm not sure if he's not playing or if I just haven't noticed him, because the shift changes do happen often, but I felt like I would have noticed Andrew Gadzinski if he was playing today. As another man to the ground. They sent Ryan Garlock to the ground. He's been getting beaten up a little bit today. Burinov. Spinning around as the shot from Gomez. Another freshman didn't go. Gloucester Catholic with 5 freshmen on their varsity roster, including Will Cox, Alana Bellin, Nolan Doyle, who scored earlier this year in that home game versus St. Peter's. Oh, who pulled the rug out? At least 2 players went down that time. Like we're playing Jenga. Princeton moves it up. And a whistle. We have a penalty. See what the call is here.
Okay.
Slash.
Okay. That's trying to.
We're making sure we had the right call, but it's going to be against Gloucester Catholic. So 2 minutes for slashing against Defensal Kislik. It'll be a 2-minute power play for Princeton.
I was going to say, because Gloucester Catholic was doing an incredible job, especially defensively with poke checking, being able to step up on top of the points, and just in general being able to put together great breakouts. It's unfortunate right now they did get a penalty. They were playing so smooth.
Again, Gloucester Catholic, they'll have a tough road ahead. They're 2-7. Both of their wins, as we mentioned, came over St. Peter's Prep. Taking a look at the Gordon National standings, Pope John, who they play on Tuesday, and they lost to last week 7-4. They lead the standings at 5-2-2. Bergen Catholic ahead of them. Seton Hall Prep, who plays on Thursday. And then St. Peter's Prep at 3-6. Off the top of the glass. .45 seconds gone in the power play. Still a minute 15. Tipped up. Doohan missed it, and it goes back to Geyser. On his feet. Releases it back behind the net. Back to Martone, who had the fourth and to this point most recent goal for the Rams. Burinov. Ooh, little crossover. Burinov tries to get through. Almost had a short hand. That would have been a Kyrie Irving move if he made that one go, but instead, it's a miss. But still more seconds taken off the board for a crucial penalty kill for Gloucester Catholic. As now the puck just in front of the second blue line. Gets a good advance that time. Burns. Shot from Burinov. And a shove after the play. They'll get everything separated. And the ref going over to Burinov and 35, Baptiste Demerge, the sophomore. What an attack by Gloucester Catholic to be shorthanded and get 3 shots on goal in the first minute and 20 of this power play.
And they've been pressing hard. That's been absolutely outstanding. They've been keeping a guy high and who's been doing all the work. We saw many different times. Also, oh, there's a water bottle just flew onto the ice.
From where? Doing
some bench acrobatics, I see.
Somebody had Butterfingers on the bench. Princeton. I keep saying Princeton Day. I'm not sure how many times I've said it, but it's just Princeton, the public school, in the Colonial Valley Conference, which consists of a couple of different interesting schools, including Paul Sixth. Paul Sixth, which is only 4 minutes away from where we are in Audubon, not from here, but from where I am. Whoa, look out. Sent him to the ground there, chucks his stick. He's not happy that time, but that's not the first time Liam Campbell's been sent to the ground. But let's take a look at those CVC standings in the Colonial. Only 4 teams per division, and there's only 8 teams total in the entire conference, which each team plays at least once. Lawrence is in that conference along with Paul Sixth, Steiner, and West Windsor. But in that division, Robbinsville leads with 11-2. Princeton second at 6-3-1. Hopewell Valley, who they tied on opening night, is third. And then Notre Dame of Lawrenceville, New Jersey, is 1-7. So Princeton can't really advance or fall in the overall standings with a win or loss today. But they then go at home versus the Lawrenceville school. That's a 7 o'clock puck drop on the 14th on Wednesday. And then they have 3 matches this week as it's a goal. Gloucester Catholic strikes again. 5 unanswered. Somebody pick up the phone. It's 5-2. As that will be goal number, is that Kislik?
Kislik, yeah.
It is. Afanzel Kislik. That's a hat trick.
Man, oh man. I mean,
Tip
absolutely.
your cap to Afanzel Kislik.
It was one heck of a shot, too. Was able to wait out pretty much the Princeton defenders right there, find the slot, was able to look like it went 5-hole, was a snapshot down low, and man, oh man.
Well, Gloucester Catholic got 6 men on the ice. They were waiting for Burns to get off before they dropped the puck, but as we mentioned, this is the first of 3 matches this week for Princeton. They play Lawrenceville on Wednesday and then Freehold Township of the Shore Conference on Friday. That's a road match for Princeton. So 4 of their next 5, including today, are on the road. So their next home game after Wednesday won't be until Tuesday the 27th versus Robbinsville. And then for Gloucester Catholic, they'll be on the road at Bergen Catholic in Oradell on the 13th. That's back at the blue line, looking to get a shot off there. 8:05 left in the ball game. And again, it's funny, we have 3 home games with Gloucester Catholic, but after their home match versus or rather after their road match versus Bergen Catholic, they've got 3 in a row at home. Seton Hall Prep on Thursday, Pope John on the 20th, Tuesday, and Haverford on Monday the 26th. Then their last 3 matches, they close out the season with Marlborough of the Shore Conference on the 27th. They play Princeton Day in their last Gordon Conference game on the 29th. So they open and close their conference schedule with the same team. And now it's the Hun School on the 5th of February. That was rescheduled. As here comes a shot blocked. A nice save, but the freshman got a shot off right at the center of the chest. Michael Regan, the freshman.
Well, lucky right there, Prizzuti was able to come up with the save right in the breadbasket. But again, that was another cough-up opportunity right there from Princeton. Again, the first 2 goals of the game were scored because of muffed shots, and it looked like another chance right there Gloucester Catholic had, as they were, once again, Princeton looked like they were putting the press on, but.
Yeah, the hardest goal to get is the first, and that's the one that Gloucester Catholic needed there. They got a handful of goals thanks to mistakes that Princeton made, as there's another shot, this time from Duhan, once again saved by Peter Pasuti. But again, Gloucester Catholic with pretty much a division title out of reach. I mean, Pope John is 7-4-2. It's not like they're running away with it, and it's not like they're playing Del Barton either, some of the best teams in the country. But, I mean, Gloucester Catholic, they are a program in transition. We didn't know how they would be with some of the transfers this year, and they haven't played terribly. Today is a great example. They have played really well. But ice hockey in New Jersey is very top-heavy. If you're not winning a lot of games, you're losing a lot of games. And that goes for public schools, that goes for private schools. You don't see a lot of teams that are at 500. I mean, again, just looking at the standings for the Colonial Valley again. Just look at that. 11-2, 6-3-1. The closest team to 500 is 7-5-1 Hopewell Valley, and then you get a steep drop-off to Notre Dame at 1-7. Whistles.
Looks
hooking.
Like a hook. Yeah.
Get out your fishing poles. We've got hooking. And with 6:29 left in the third period, it's going to be Ilya Buranov, who has done well today, has had a lot of nifty moves, but he'll put himself in the box for 2 minutes for hooking.
I mean, this is one thing, Gloucester Catholic, and playing a heck of a lot better game than what we've seen in the past, but the discipline is still catching them.
It's still iffy.
It is still iffy, and they're making contact when they shouldn't be, and there are still many times you got to control your stick in that situation. It's 5-2. Hockey's a fast game. This can easily be something where this game could get a lot closer in the span of these next 2 minutes.
Well, let's see what they got here. As that shot by Ashan didn't go. And now another man down at center ice. And still trying to wiggle that one out is Christian Gomez.
Ooh.
And beating him on the rush that time, but he went down, was Demerge. A lot of contact, but now puck comes out. Got an open look. Shot with the backhand, back off of Geyser. On the right side is Kislik. 3 goals today. Another handful of things flying, contact made. 5-2 GC, and we've got a minute left on the power play. Shot, goal, Lavini. Welcome to the show, Sebastian Lavini. Picked up his first career goal in the first period, and the Rams now pick up his second. After a 2-0 lead, Gloucester Catholic has run away with this one, and they get a short-handed goal. Wow. What a way to get that one rolling. Sebastian Lavini, 6-2.
I tell you what, the position of this Gloucester Catholic squad has been incredible to watch tonight. That was another one. Lavini in the perfect spot in the back door wide open. Again, you were short-handed, but somehow Princeton didn't have a guy on them. Don't quite know what Princeton was trying to do in the defensive zone. They were very lenient on the defense. I saw right there in the corner there was an opportunity for a hit. You shouldn't be allowing a guy to just skate around the rim, especially if you're the one that has the man advantage. Not quite sure what is going on with the lenient defense here from Princeton, but Gloucester Catholic taking advantage.
Princeton's defense was 10 times better in the first period. As here comes a shot. Had a wobbly puck, but he tried to reel it in for the slap shot from the right wing. It didn't go from Emil Vecchi. And now the Rams trying to advance again. Again, they are still shorthanded. We still have 30 seconds left on the power play, so there's room for more. Tried to get a slap that time. Burns back behind the net. Looked to get a 1-2 hook with Pastor. Pastor spins around, makes a man miss, but kind of lost his balance as now the puck is loose. Tigers have it. Back at the top for Heaton. Heaton, shot blocked by number 19 in Nolan Doyle. Burns. As we go back to full strength.
Man.
Oh, here comes Burinov. Didn't get it. Too strong. He might have been ahead of the blue line, too. Got a delayed penalty coming. See what we got here. Look at there were 3 Princeton Tigers surrounding Ilya Burinov as he just got back on the ice after a penalty. But what's this penalty for?
It's a great bounce pass
Looks
from
like
Pastor,
Doyle.
too.
Looks like Doyle's going to go to the box.
That was a hold. Wow.
It was a hold. So how about Ilya Burinov? He gets on the ice for like 10 seconds after the power play, and I got to go right back. But that power play should bring us to 2:15 left in the third. But again, Gloucester Catholic should not be making these mistakes. I mean, listen, you're up by 4 goals. I'm not saying let off the gas, but this is the equivalent of letting off the gas because you're allowing this discipline to get to your head. And then when you draw a penalty or when Princeton draws a penalty, now they can kind of run over you. But Gloucester Catholic getting the shorthanded goal is one of the best things that they've done this year. Just one of the best individual highlights that we've seen from the 2-7 Rams, who would improve to 3-7 with a win. As we mentioned, they'll travel 2 some hours up to Oradell on Tuesday. So tomorrow. So both teams, as this is a Monday afternoon matchup, both teams playing 3 games this week. As we mentioned, Princeton at home versus Lawrenceville on Wednesday, and then on the road versus Freehold. As here comes another shot. Burns almost had the second shorthanded goal in as many minutes, but instead it goes back to the Rams as they clear it on the defensive zone, and now backpedaling towards Geyser. Shoots it coast to coast, back at center ice. Picking this one up is Niederman, but a good defensive stand by Garlock. On it is Gibb. Gibb back to Demerge. Niederman picks it up at center ice. Once again, a backpedal here as they try to kill the power play. Gloucester Catholic not really trying to advance too heavily as Kislik almost got checked into the box. But instead it goes back to Abe Arshon. The leading goal scorer for this Princeton Tigers team. He's got 14 for an incredibly heavy offensive attack that has scored 85 goals in 10 games this year. And as you mentioned in the open, Vince, 30 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
And the 3 teams that Princeton has lost
3
to.
games.
What's that?
3 games.
What did I say?
2.
Oh, 2. Okay.
I mean, if they did that, that would be really super.
Still, I mean, listen, no matter how you want to slice it, it's still incredibly impressive. They scored 11 over Steiner, 6 over a good Old Bridge team, and then 13 over West Windsor. 13-3. I mean, we talked about while we were off the air, we talked about the Rangers-Bruins game from TD Garden the other night where the Bruins, I believe, scored 10 in that game.
Yeah.
10 is an absurd number in the NHL, but to score 13 goals at any level with 5-minute shorter periods, we're only playing 45 minutes instead of the NHL where you're playing 60. That is an incredible mark. If you want to do the math,
it's still crazy.
45 divided by 13.
Bruins haven't done that since 1980 in the 80s.
That's about a goal every 3.5 minutes at
Yeah.
the high school level if you scored 13 in 45.
Oh.
And in that game, Princeton broke out with an 8-goal second period. They scored 4 in the first, 8 in the second, and 1 in the third. Burns gets checked. Got magnetized a little bit there with Demerge. We are back at full strength, and we've been back at full strength for 15-ish seconds now as we're back under 2 minutes. Still back behind the net, tries to get a shot off with Regan. It's no good. Minute 42 to play in the third period.
Yeah, definitely got to say that pass penalty kill. What a play by, I mean, just an incredible kill by Kislik. He was going all over, pretty much taking the puck around the world. Went in the zone, went around the rim, and took it back out by himself. Him and Cole Pastor, I have to highlight, did an incredible job on that penalty kill, doing great with keeping possession of the puck and keeping it away from Princeton, not even really giving him a chance to get into any type of momentum, any rhythm, any offensive zone setup.
Princeton is driving. Oh, he almost wiped out, but he's able to hang on to it. You saw those feet come out from under him there, as it would have been a great shot for Emil Vecchi. Now another little tango there, as now it's Martone. Check that. It's now Duhan, but it's back to Regan, the freshman, from the face-off circle. Tries to get it from the end line. No. Puck comes out. We stay alive for Rotenberg. Princeton with it. No icing. 1 minute left in the third period as Gloucester Catholic looks for their second non-conference win in as many years. They only won one non-conference game last year. To be fair, they went 3-9. They only played 12 matches total. They're already 2-7. So they're playing a little bit more than they did last year and booking a couple more non-conference opponents. And a shift change here just before the puck drop. 45 seconds left. 49 seconds, rather. Back at it. Shot from downtown as Princeton goes for the last-ditch effort. Arshon tried to get in there along with Vecchi, but he couldn't get it to go. Back over to Burinov. 35 seconds left in the third period. Tipped down. Burinov. Now taking his time in front of the offside circle. Now back at center ice. Right side. Taking his time. Burinov shoots it over, and he scores. There's a little cherry on top, and it comes for the freshman, Christian Gomez. His first career goal, as a lot of first goal accolades coming out today. Sebastian Lavini opened the scoring with his first, and Christian Gomez most likely closes the scoring with his first, as the freshman gets it to go, and Gloucester Catholic puts up a 7-2 lead.
I tell you what, they're putting the pressure on every way possible, and we've seen it multiple different times. Again, collapsing the net, having multiple of your line mates coming in at one time. Gomez over on the left wing, being able to pick it up perfectly. The slot has been clogged, not by Princeton defensive players keeping them out. No, it's been Gloucester Catholic all night. And we've seen that time and time again, why they have the 7-2 lead. That's a perfect definition of what you just witnessed right there.
7 seconds left, and we'll have a whistle here, offside. That's the first time that Gloucester Catholic has scored 7 goals in a game since February 27th, 2023, when Gloucester Catholic had a home game in the quarterfinals of the non-public bracket. They beat Princeton Day 8-4. That was Matthew Gaudreau's second to last season as head coach when they went 8-2, as that's a final from Hollydale. The publics versus the privates. Gloucester Catholic comes out on top with a big non-conference win over the Princeton Tigers, as after a 2-goal deficit in the first period, Gloucester Catholic comes back out, and they do not turn off the Jets from the first whistle to the final, as this one is a 7-2 final score from Sewell. As how about Afonso Kislik? Easy first star of the game with a hat trick, his first career, and a big, big individual performance for the Gloucester Catholic Rams, and a big team performance from the Rams.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen the play. It was all night. The positioning was absolutely outstanding. We saw that especially on the penalty kill. You want to go back to that 5-minute, I mean, we can go back to the 5-minute major, how Princeton had a big-time opportunity to get something on the board. Multiple. We know how majors work. If you score, you're still on the power play. This incredible penalty kill that we saw from Gloucester Catholic was the big reason why they won, and the positioning was key. And, again, just having your guys stationed in the perfect area, not really allowing Princeton to get any type of offensive momentum when they would set up in the offensive zone, not giving them too many options, especially in the slot, keeping them to the outside, making them kind of work the half wall, and basically forcing them into turnovers and putting pressure where we saw the first 2 goals of tonight's contest for Gloucester Catholic was because of muff shots. They were able to take advantage and capitalize off of mistakes from Princeton. It's exactly why Gloucester Catholic started to get the momentum on their side. And yes, after that tie at 2-2, they never looked back. What a game, what a performance, and what a victory.
Yeah, it's just a showcase in resilience, you know. I mean, Princeton, again, went up 2-0. I think I literally said word for word in the first period that if Princeton scores, we could see this game running away.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it would be. I didn't know what we would see, but tonight we saw a great showcase from Gloucester Catholic in resiliency. Yes, they got in trouble with penalties. I would have liked to see a couple less penalties in the third period. They gave Princeton 2 big power plays with, I think it was 5 minutes left and then one with 3 minutes left, back-to-back on Ilya Burinov. Now, that's one guy, but at the same time, I think that Gloucester Catholic, they just need to keep that consistent. Yes, the game was more or less over at that point. We just didn't want to say it because we know what happened with Princeton Day back on December the 2nd. That 6 goals in 6 minutes. You don't want that to happen again. But what Gloucester Catholic did great today was that they were consistent. They shot the puck well. Ilya Burinov had made moves that I had never seen him do before. His footwork was incredibly crafty. He got the skates to go whatever way he wanted. And I think that Princeton, we could maybe see the writing on the wall if future me went back and said, hey, Peter Pasuti only has an 81% save percentage. I would have said, okay, Gloucester Catholic's going to score a few times. I didn't think they'd score 7 times. And we mentioned it's the first time since February of 2023 that the Rams put up 7 goals in a game. So this is a great performance, and I think it will translate well. Bergen Catholic's going to be a tough match on tomorrow, especially 24-hour turnaround. You got to drive 2 hours up to Oradell. It's not going to be easy. But I think that Gloucester Catholic's going to go into that game with a high head. We take a look again at the Gordon Conference standings. I'm sorry, I pressed the wrong thing. Bergen Catholic is second. They are 7-4. So they play the number 2 team in the division tomorrow. They play the number 3 team in the division on Thursday at home, and then they play the number 1 team in the division on Tuesday at home on the 20th in Pope John. So it's not going to get easier from here on out, but it's a good confidence booster. And my 3 stars, I would give, first of all, easy first star to Afansel Kislik for the hat trick. That was great. I mean, listen, he did not spark the offense. The first goal came from Sebastian Lavini, who's going to get my 2nd star. I think that he was an outstanding performer. Sebastian Lavini, the sophomore, able to get some great shots off and really looked like he had been there 1,000 times. When you're a sophomore and you find a way to get 2 goals in a game, especially one that was at the end. But Lavini, he got the first goal. He sparked it. He was the guy that really, drove this comeback for Gloucester Catholic. And by the time the first period was over, by the time the intermission was set, we were tied at 2-2, and we never went from there. My 3rd star of the game, to give one to Princeton, I would give it to Abe Arshan. Listen, good performance by Arshan. He had an assist and he had a goal. He had a good performance. I think that Abe is going to be a great player for Princeton. He's already got 14 goals as a sophomore. He had 4 as a freshman. He is going to be electric if he stays with the Princeton Tigers for all 4 years. And even though this game was not the best reflection of how Princeton played, we mentioned that they scored 30 goals in the last 3 games. That was a high-powered offensive attack, and the fact that Gloucester Catholic more or less shut them down is a great testament to how the Rams played today. This was probably, out of their 3 wins, which I saw one of them. The one was last week at American Dream Mall versus St. Peter's Prep. We saw one other win also versus St. Peter's. This is the 2nd time I've seen the Rams win today, and out of those 2, this was easily the better played game.
Absolutely, and then something I really also have to highlight for the Gloucester Catholic Rams is their ability to break out of the defensive zone. That was a big issue from pretty much every single game that I was with you in terms of watching, either producing or being on the call. That was the main issue, breaking out. They would turn it over too much at the points. They would turn it over not even getting out of the zone, not even in the neutral zone. Sometimes they would have it turned over right in front of Geyser, and we also saw many neutral zone turnovers in previous games. That was something they definitely honed in on. They did a great job with having both of their D-men down low, ready to pretty much deal. And we saw it multiple times as well tonight from the big defenseman who came up in a big-time way, Burns, who was back there. Or excuse me, was it not Cole Burns? I may be looking at the wrong Cole because I know there is 2 Coles, but still, Cole Pastor. That's the right one. I don't know why I said Burns, but Pastor was basically a QB tonight back there, passing up incredible, opportunities, not passing up incredible opportunities, but tape-to-tape passes, having guys stationary at the points, giving your defensemen options, not leaving them out to dry. That was a big key on why they won. It was incredible breakouts, incredible zone entries, incredible job, period, of setting up in the offensive zone, getting traffic in the slot, and moving the puck, making sure that you can get some movement and some open shot slots available. And we saw that tonight. Just one heck of a press.
Well, a great game and a great overall performance by Gloucester Catholic. That'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. As the Rams improve to 3-7, they match their win total from last year, and then the Tigers fall to 6-4-1 going into their matchup on Wednesday versus the Lawrenceville, I believe they're called the Raiders. I'm not sure, the Lawrenceville school up there in Central Jersey, the private school. But from our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, my producer, David Cohen of Rowan University, my color commentator, Vincent Focht of Camden County College. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you tomorrow for some Colonial Conference hard-fought basketball in Group 1 and Group 2 between the Paulsboro Red Raiders and the Gloucester Lions. Final score tonight, Gloucester Catholic 7, Princeton 2. Have a good one, folks.